Welcome again to another episode. It's your humbly, mumbly, very clumsy host, SB Press. I'm not going to tell you where to find me. Go back to the old videos. You'll know where to find me. Furthermore, today, I got my boy with me. Another one of the silhouettes. Or it can be the last silhouette that was here last time. Today we're shooting the shit. But thanks again, Alex, for coming through. I appreciate you.
So, man, appreciate you. Glad to be here. And since we're here, I got some questions for you, man.
Mm-hmm.
How's it feel now that the podcast is finally up?
I feel okay. There's honestly times where I don't feel like I'm doing enough, but doing something is always pushing me in the direction of where I want to go. So actually, I guess I wouldn't even say okay. I feel pretty good. I feel like, we're putting forth the effort in the right direction to be where we want to be.
Why do you think it took this long to get this far? What trips, what bumps in the road have been the hardest?
I guess the hardest thing, I guess for anybody who's trying to do something, it doesn't have to be podcasting, it could be anything. The first thing you want to kind of get over is self-doubt, because you're trying to reach for perfection, and that was my problem. In the beginning, I wanted this to be already visual, already this and that. We started off in a fucking studio and shit like that. Like we started off with the highest of the highest equipment to bring it back down to the basis where we should have started and just build it up from there. So I was thinking of, if we could start off already on top, why not? Instead of like we're doing right now, building ourselves up to the top so we can actually appreciate it more. If that answers your question.
Yeah. So now,
also, we do have a third guest with us. Her name is Mary Jane. So if you do hear a lot of silent moments, it's because Mary Jane is speaking to us. She's speaking to us, mouth to mouth.
your kiss.
But what would you say that
Actually,
I want to ask you that question too.
Well, for me, I can't really answer that question because, like I said, I want to be in the background. So, not being the head of the train, I guess I'm just waiting to see where I get pulled to. I'm just along for the ride. I want to see how far. Not even how far, because I know it's gonna go far. But I just don't want to be. I'm not a very talkative guy,
I think
I don't come up with the questions that as quick as you do, and they're not as interesting. The conversation won't go as deep if I'm asking. So all that would come to my perspective, and I'm like, if I'm trying to do this, it's not gonna go far. And it's gotta be you. It's yours,
I feel like to your train analogy, I feel like this is the SB Press Express, but in my front cart, it has a bunch of seats. But
see, here's the thing. So I look at it as a train with one conductor. Okay. I think that you look at it with 3 conductors, because that was the idea, But life happens, and one of the conductors had to,
I guess, depart the train
had to train his little conductor now.
Yeah. He's about to have another. Yeah. One of the
he's out there training his little conductor now.
and I'm pretty sure the image online is probably going to be all over the place because I'm having technical difficulties right now, but the conversation's so good.
Yeah,
the image ain't gonna even matter at this point.
For some reason, the image zoomed in.
Yeah, so we're just having technical difficulties on the image, but this is all about the message that we're delivering, anyways. So if you see a mouse or a cursor or anything pop up on your screen at this point, it's popping up on ours too. We're just having technical difficulties, but we're gonna work through this shit.
Yeah, so he started teaching his apprentice, and I not much of a host, I guess. So I always saw it as
what, me being the lead singer?
No, being the conductor. I would just be a passenger that would jump on and off, on and off. You know.
I feel like the dynamic that you also bring to it, though, would be more than just an on and off, because there's a lot of angles of the questions that I'm asking that need different angles from a different perspective to get more in depth on the question.
But this is about getting to know people.
Yes.
See,
That's why this is a conversation-based podcast.
No, but I mean, how can I put this?
Put it exactly how you're thinking.
That's the thing. It's not popping up. So, because at first I was on to, because I still am to conspiracies and all that. But what I've been going through with Jordan Peterson and his lectures, what I've been watching about Joe Rogan and all that, I don't have questions. I just want to listen. It's not, and I get it. How can I listen if I don't ask the questions?
You're not questioning the knowledge. You're more so just obtaining it.
That's where you come in. I just want to hear you guys have the conversation, and maybe later on, if a question pops up, I could give you, hey, it would be cool. You could have them back and maybe ask them about this.
Okay.
Like that. Because I'm sure the question will never pop in my head in that moment. But yeah, so
I get that. I felt that.
Knowing that you're so easy to communicate with people, this is too easy of a choice. For me to fade out the picture. I don't like the spotlight. Spotlight sucks.
Says the guy who's been in a fucking commercial.
I was in no commercial. They put me in a commercial. Hey,
that
was just money.
It's funny because, I'm gonna say this. I
was in the spotlight.
For a good looking dude who, it's kind of hard for me to imagine, But then again,
here's the thing. So good looks. It's funny because I appreciate that he said I'm good looking. I don't feel I'm good looking. There's a lot more people out there. And that has to do with so much junk. See, I don't know why I don't think.
Internal junk?
No, mainly I just question myself, Shit, because I look at myself in the mirror like, man, I'm motherfucker ugly.
But when and I'm just gonna tell you what I see in my eyes from other people. Not even, no homo though. But just all real shit aside. We'll be walking and I'll be looking at people waiting for you to do your classic smile.
Nah, they're just looking at me for the leg. Like, look at that fucking
really
guy.
Looking at
pumping his chest out like you have 2 legs.
You have more confidence than a lot of motherfuckers that have 2 legs.
See, it's crazy. Because I faced it and accepted it. Just like Jordan Peterson says, man, you gotta face that dragon. Whatever it is. Whatever it is. Doesn't matter. Oh, man. Because, I mean, shit. Just think of it, man. This is what the thought that goes through my head whenever I think about talking to a chick. If she's interested, she might only want to have sex. She might not be interested in a long-term relationship. Because in the relationship, she would like somebody to feel protected.
Okay.
And as a visual, I don't seem capable because of my leg.
Now,
but again, my knowledge, I'm not gonna say it. Whatever they think is however I want them to think. Later on, if they get to know me and they find out what I know, and they want to pursue, but after that one night stand, they won't pursue because they will be satisfied.
They've accomplished
what their goal. Exactly. So, that thought's always in my head. It's easy for you. Because you're that song. I wish I was a baller. You are a baller.
I'm a baller on a budget. I just ball within my budget. That's all it is. And I'm not even a baller. I just know how to do a lot with a little. And not even a little, just with enough. Shoot.
So, yeah.
And even in that situation, like...
Back to the podcast and your conversations and thoughts.
And the questions that you're asking me.
That's where I want to start the conversation, to see where it went. But, well, actually you mentioned Mr. T earlier.
Yes. That's that's a project in the
tease for the future.
In the future. I have the luxury and privilege of working at a place where I see a lot of I guess celebrities, if that's the word that I'm gonna use. See a lot of celebrities. I'll see a lot of like A-listers, B-listers, all the way to Z-listers. And one of the individuals who I will be bringing on as a guest is Mr. I Pity the Fool, Mr. T. Yes, he's actually my favorite customer, one of my favorite celebrities, just one of my favorite people. Like, like when you look at people on TV and stuff like that, and you always wonder like how they are in real life. He's the one person that you can say like, dang, I wonder if he's genuine, and get that genuine question answered in person. Every time. And it increases even more and more and more. I seen him the day before yesterday, and his thing was like, man, I've been waiting to see you since like I've been trying to see you since Thanksgiving, and I got something for you. And it's like, Mr. T, just seeing you is the blessing right there.
Yeah.
1, 2, anything you give me is icing on the cake, and I like pound cake, which comes with no icing. So anything extra is even better. Pause. Yes, but bringing it back to but so with him, it was more so like I had to ask him the question that I've been dying to ask him, and I was like, Mr. T, like we've been talking about this for a while now, and I got my podcast going. He's like, oh yeah, man, that's lovely. Where can I find it? I was like, right now it's only on YouTube, and we're gonna be working it in once we build more of a following and build more of a commodity with this thing. We're gonna be working it on all platforms and stuff, but this is the best to go back all the way to the beginning, starting from the bottom to get to the top, is the best thing to do, because you get through everything. It's the only way. Don't try to cheat your way to the top.
It's the only way you're gonna get to the top, and it's gonna last. Or you're going to feel happy for it.
And appreciate it a lot more.
Because if you just get it, like a kid gets any toy, you don't really take care of toys.
Or damn near essentially shoes. I got a niece who runs through shoes like fucking Usain Bolt, and she's 11. And not even fucking 0.25% of how fast he is. But
So what kind of question?
But yeah, Mr. T will be a guest on here in the future.
Know yourself. What is something that you want to know about? Something that you would like to get to know with not Mr. T, just your guest.
With every guest?
Would it be sports wise? What would be a topic of interest?
Life experiences, and life experiences, and
life experiences where and on the job is for perfect example earlier. You Mr. T is your favorite customer.
Yes,
and I see why. He's amazing. I met him a couple of times. Every time, what's up, man? How you been? Every time, never a frown. Always has something. He's amazing, but to mention those other guests that you have, like when I was working there, and my best friend.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to know something they go through that in their profession? How are they mistreated by customers, guests? How are they looked down on just for their position?
Yeah.
For like in the gas station, that guy that always goes with the exact change for his cigarettes and still sees my hand. Well, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. So he didn't see my hand. Still, why slam it on the counter? Why not offer it on the hand? What is it? You know, and how do you, me specifically now, I'm asking you the question. What's something that you're going through like that? You can't use that hobo guy that's always racist motherfucker.
Oh, the dude that called me the N-word?
You can't use those excuses because, those are kind of obvious.
So give you an example of a life experience that everybody can relate and connect with, and that'll be like...
Especially somebody like us. You know, what is it, blue collar?
Yeah, right? Yeah, we're blue collar people. You know, we work for a living.
Because, I mean, shit. Like Bill Burr said, when have you met in the way people that are just staring up there? Have you heard that joke, that skit before, Bill Burr?
Mm-mm.
In the way people? I don't remember it, but man.
You know it, but you don't know it verbatim.
I know that. I know the skit is this. You seen those people that are just in the way. Stop making that guy.
I definitely gotta watch more Bill Burr because I see a lot of like his little like 25-minute like a bunch of skits mashed together from like different performances with him.
So it's best to watch there.
But back to your question, I guess the question that I would ask everybody that will be able to relate with everyone is like, just like asking people like, you know, just tell me about your hardship and difficulties to get to where you're at. Like, it was probably more harder for us to get in the position of putting this whole podcast together than it would be for, you know, some, you know, actor to get a fucking role in a commercial or you know, role in a movie. So like, I guess everybody's went through a no. Tell me what your worst no was in life. And how did that propel you to become better to where you'll never hear a no ever again? If that kind of makes sense.
It makes sense.
Like
it makes sense, but
because that can go in all aspects.
I don't like the second part of where you don't hear no ever again. That doesn't sound.
Well, yeah, because you're gonna hear it. Yeah, no, I messed up on that. But
no, but in the sense that also those no's, because telling you how Jordan Peterson's been changing that. he's clarified a lot of my thinking for me,
Mm-hmm.
which is, and you gotta listen to him to understand. Because I mean, I'm an idiot and I can't put into words. I'm serious. I can't tell you what I'm thinking.
I can't tell.
I don't have the vocabulary to.
You're not an idiot.
To make you understand. Oh, trust me. So
because if we're reflections of each other, you're definitely not an idiot.
So he goes, you choose a goal, right? Whatever it is, X thing,
mm-hmm.
and you're chasing for it. You're going for it. You're learning new things and whatever. So whenever they tell you no, your goal changes according to that no. And like, so okay, this no didn't. It stays the same, somewhat the same goal, but now you adjusted it to the new knowledge that you learned.
Is it like the saying, when one door closes, another one opens?
In a sense, because you get another way, but it's still the going to the. I guess it would be like a winding road that ends up in the same spot. You
take a different detour to get there.
Because being told no, you figured out that didn't work. Like for us with the podcast, we started off.
Yeah.
No.
Started off in a recording studio.
Started off good,
Started off fucking shit. Honestly, we started off
looking
like how some people are right now.
That was
how some people. Our shit looked like. I don't even want to say it, but I have to say it just to give the listeners a perspective.
It's just it looked professionalish. It was us in the studio.
Yeah, it was a pretty lit live recording studio. That's basically the best way I can put it. It was very upscale.
It's just us in the studio, But I mean, we didn't know nothing. So what happened when we're looking at it.
Damn.
We started at the top. Nobody said no to us. So what happened with Trip? Fell off the top. Had to start at the bottom of the road. Gotta go through all those no's and trips and technical difficulties. Thanks.
See, I got you. It's the marijuana. That's all it is. It's Mary Jane. She twinkling with your brain.
Mr. College.
She tripping on your brain, man. Don't let her get you, man.
Yeah, those are important.
Damn.
I guess
that really hit me because you're absolutely right.
How have you understood those no's, or
How have I overcame those no's, or
How have you integrated those no's into your plan?
To my plan and my yes?
Right now, for example, perfect example with all that's happened. How has your view of the Compadres podcast changed, knowing that I want to be behind the camera and
Eli
is off training
his young ninja,
his young Eagle Hawk,
right?
Falcon.
Yeah, exactly. The other silhouette has a young silhouette on the way. I just want to go ahead and say that because we were very shocked, but we're very proud, very happy. Like it was definitely like, oh snap, you having a baby, like shocked. But then it was like, man, like when I say I feel like we're gaining a young compadre, like it's gonna be amazing, to have him welcome in his young one, next month. I believe it's due at the end of next month, the child. And okay, so let me answer that question then. Okay, so I guess how I'm gonna answer this is gonna be a little complex. So hopefully you can stay with me, and I'll try to keep you along for the ride. In the beginning, the first thing I was thinking when we had that conversation, you, I, and Eli here, the day that you guys drove off to drop him off in Ohio, I was like, I honestly was like, we can still do this. He already has equipment. You and I were like, all systems go. We can still do this. We can make it happen. And it's still going to happen. It still is happening. This is evidence of it. But that was a year ago, more than a year ago from now. Mm-hmm. That was November 1st, 2019. No, 2020. November 1st, 2020, when we had that conversation. And for it to be to this point, it was crazy. But yeah, in the beginning, I was just like, we can still do this. Then from just like, life experiences, from, being integrated into another state, working, being away from us, and, just trying to find his own way, Eli and everything, I can see that I needed to detach the idea and the hurt, because I was a little hurt and upset, but detach the idea of him being full-time a part of this, because he still needs to full-time integrate himself over there. He's new to that entire city, state, and everything, because he left abruptly. It wasn't planned for him to leave, but he had to make the plan to leave. Then it was just more so like when it couldn't really function a certain way, mm-hmm. I started kind of like unfunctioning as well. Doubting. And then I started thinking, damn, how are we going to make this happen? How can we make this happen? So then when the studio shit crashed on us, mm-hmm. and burned, mm-hmm. at that point, for maybe like, I would say like a couple of months.
Yeah, because we weren't doing nothing.
We were still like, we were just kind of like shocked from the situation, like, and not doing anything to progress the situation. And then because I'm treating this like my first love, I'm making this my first love. Then I was like, all right, cool. What can we do to still make this? So that's when we went ahead and started purchasing items, started making our own shit, pretty much making our own studio and everything like that. But then I would say not even lack of effort, but just the lack of feeling like, even if you're not a part of, just like, y'all can do it, cheer it on, or like just promote, or just little ways of just making me feel like it was still something that, even though you're not putting effort into it because you can't, you still want us to do it. So it just kind of felt like a shadow of it, but then I was still trying to work through that shadow. So then we still, like I said, we're still, doing, I have recordings from 2019 with us. So that tells you how long we've been trying to, still do it, even without equipment and all that stuff. So even without him, we were still making it. But then moving up to, I guess, the start of really putting the stuff out there, it was just a nut up or shut up moment. I did too much talking. I'm getting too many questions, and I can't answer it. The only way I can answer it is by supplying what they're demanding. So it was getting over the hump of not wanting to hear my own voice, and fearing that I'm not going to be able to entertain or not even entertain, but connect with the audience or the guests, or even keep people wanting to like just listen to what I'm saying and stuff like that. That real genuine connection. I kind of just got like to say, F it. It's go time. So that's when, the coming soon, snippet came out and stuff like that.
It's funny because it's not funny, but
which is like 2 years later.
It's something that I wanna, because I told you a couple of times that you should tell you.
Well, I mean, you told me so many things, so I'm trying to think about what's this one thing that you told me.
Because I tell you, that you try to help people, but you'll be struggling yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And while you're telling me the conversation, you say that we. So how I see it is that, again, if you would have stopped saying we and started saying I, and then I am gonna see how we can come together, it would have moved a lot faster.
Taking the solo approach.
Because, like you said, you want to make this your first love. You can't be sharing your first love. You could.
My first love was basketball.
You could introduce it to this different. It's not a sport. It's not like you could play.
But
I mean, if you're gonna share it, then we would have been only guests and reoccurring guests, like I've mentioned when Eli had just moved. Remember?
Yes.
I told you, we could do it, and he could just, once it goes off, we could just either go over there or have him bring him here and be like a reoccurring guest. That's my point of view.
No, I definitely remember that now that you mention it.
Because I do think so, man.
I guess I was just thinking of this like being like a team effort thing, and I was just thinking like, fuck the 33.33% going across to make 100. If I give 100 and they give 100, there's no way we can lose. There's no way this cannot succeed, and that was the reason why the logo got made. Even like not like that. You're absolutely right, and that's exactly how this even started. I started thinking, if I don't do this, this ain't gonna happen. So I took the initiative to do episodes. And now this is where it's at.
And I didn't want to push nothing because I didn't want to feel resentful and say, I'm putting all this effort and get it off. And then at the end just fade out. Because that was always my plan, to fade out.
Yeah.
And then say, I'm over here.
The thing is, I understood that. And I don't think you understood that I did.
I wasn't going to be pushing you. Because, again, it's up to you. I think I told you, right? This is going to be as fast as you want or as slow as you want. Because this is you.
And that's exactly why everything started the way it did.
And, I mean,
now it's going the way it is.
And now you just...
And now
you threw the snowballs. Now it's just going to pick up.
And the best,
soon, nothing's gonna stop.
The best thing, that's what I was gonna say. The best thing about this is, back to the train analogy. The train's going.
Oh yeah.
And everybody's in the position that I would need them to be in. At this particular moment, everybody's in the position I need them to be in. Because once the train rolls around your town, just get on. Just get on.
Come have a drink in the lunch.
For reals.
in the lunch cart or whatever.
Come enjoy some Mary Jane. We have a cart where it's a smoking area. But no, with all BS aside, I had like the energy and the effort pushed me into the eye. And I understood that, yes, you're absolutely right. This wasn't going to go as fast or as slow as I wanted to go. So that's why I started moving. Because again, this is a good
it's a good speed.
It's a good speed. And it's in my control at this moment. And the thing is, like, what people don't understand, like, all the stuff that if anybody ever heard me talking or describing the podcast a year ago from now, all that stuff is still to come. Every individual that I've had a conversation with and said, this person, that person, is still to come. So everything, like life, is a work in progress. And I like the work. Working 2 jobs right now. So I like the work.
It's the work that you... Life is the work,
The funny thing about that, though, is Who's willing to work overtime? Who's willing to work the weekends? Who's willing to work overnight? Who's willing to work a shift back to back?
There'll be some crazy people out there.
Yeah, I guess I'm one of them. But even thinking about just the physical work that I do now, it doesn't compare to like the mental work that I prepare into putting out an episode and everything. Like the work that I put into this is even just me speaking right now, making my brain think of things to say consistently so you guys can hear a consistent conversation coming out of my mouth is work. People think otherwise, but it is what it is. I get to this point, the best thing I can leave people with is what you eat don't make me shit.
We need an extra. Like an intro, an outro.
I mean, I kind of do have an outro, but the technical difficulties is kind of like messing up with it.
Like,
so
we're out, Joe!